Hello and welcome to this Staffnet training video. This video will take you through the basic steps of looking after your site or page. This will include editing and updating text, using images, using hyperlinks, and uploading documents to the new central document library. The first thing that we are going to look at now is how to edit a page. Now you may notice that SharePoint, which this site is built on, has a number of different ways of doing the same thing. In order to edit a page, the first thing you will need to do is go to the top right of your screen where you can see your name and a small cog. If you click on this cog, it will open the following drop-down menu, which will give you options to edit the page. As a recommendation, if you are looking after any sites or pages, it's a good idea on your edit menu to click on the Show Ribbon option. While this initially may not look like it's done anything, you will now see that in the top left you have three tabs called Browse, Page and Publish. Browse will remove the ribbon, but if you click on the Page or Publish tabs, you will see this area here, which is known as a ribbon menu and is very similar to the menus you see in other Microsoft applications such as Word. This ribbon menu has now opened up three different ways to edit your page. You can, of course, from the cog, click on Edit Page. Underneath the cog, there is an option to edit here. And under the Page tab, there is an option to edit here. These all fundamentally do the same thing, and once you've clicked on the edit options, this will then open the page for you to make changes. So the majority of pages on Staffnet are built by using content editor web parts. This section here is known as a web part, and it is essentially just a frame which contains certain information. Content editor web parts contain general content such as text, images, and hyperlinks. These can also be used for embedding code so you can watch YouTube videos. So now that we have clicked into Edit and we have our cursor in the Content Editor web part, if we click in there, you will then notice that on the ribbon menu up at the top, we have a range of new tabs: Format Text, Insert, Twice, and Web Part. So the Format Text tab operates a lot like the ribbon menu that you will see in Microsoft Word. To edit any text, you can very simply highlight the text as you would in a Word document and delete it. You can also start typing in new text to replace it. Another option is to copy and paste text from an existing Word document. So I have already copied some text from a Word document by highlighting it and clicking Ctrl and C together on the keyboard to copy it. I am now going to paste the text onto this page by pressing Ctrl and V onto the keyboard. You will notice when you do copy and paste from Word, there are occasions where it will pull through formatting and styles from the Word document. To make sure that the style of the text is consistent across the site, you will need to remove any of this other formatting. To do this, if you highlight that text and then on the ribbon menu, just make sure you click on the paragraph option. That will definitely strip out any other formatting. I'm now just going to neaten this up so it's brought in line with everything else. Now you will still notice that the text that we have pasted in is a different size to the text on the site. The default size for paragraph text on the website is 13. So if we go up here into the font section of the ribbon menu, and on the drop-down menu next to font size, we're going to click on 13. So this has now made that text the same size and style as the rest of the text on the page. The next thing that we are going to look at doing is inserting an image onto your page. So we're going to look at putting an image in the top right hand corner of this page. To do that, I'm just going to put my cursor onto the page here, and I'm going to go up to the Insert tab. This is the one that is directly to the right of the Format Text tab. I'm going to click onto that, and I have a number of options of things I can insert into the page. To insert a picture, we go over to the picture icon and click on it, and we'll get a drop-down menu with 3 options. To keep this as simple as possible, the best option would be to insert an image from computer. If I click on this option, we get a new window which allows you to choose a file from your own PC to upload onto the site. A quick note on image files: the best formats to use on Staffnet are either JPEG or PNG files. Ideally, these need to be between 30 KB and 100 KB in size. If they're any larger than this, then they may struggle to load on the page. Any smaller than this and the image will pixelate. To upload a picture, I'm just going to click on the Choose File button here, and this will open your File Explorer window. Now in my Documents folder, I do already have a picture saved, so I'm just going to double click on that, and you can see that the file name has now populated in that field. We can leave the Add as a New Version box checked, and if you're uploading an image, then the destination library should always default to images. If for some reason it doesn't say that, you can click over it and then select it from the drop-down menu here. You do not need to add anything into the version comments box, simply click OK. This will then open another pop-up window where you can add more metadata to the image if you would like, but this is not necessary, so we can just click on Save, and the picture has been uploaded to the page. So to resize it, I'm just going to click on the image, and up on the ribbon menu, you can see that we now have an image tab. If I just click on that, we can change the size using these horizontal size and vertical size fields here. When resizing an image, it's important to make sure that the lock aspect ratio box is checked. If it's unchecked and you start changing the details, then the picture may distort. So I'm going to make this image a bit smaller. So I'm going to change the width of the image to 350. I'm just going to hit enter on the keyboard, and there we go, it's gone a bit smaller. So there are 2 different ways that you can align the image. You can either align it to the left or the right of the page, and this will wrap the text around it. So for this occasion, I'm just going to click on the image and click on Image tab, and on the position icon, if I just click on that, I am going to move it to the right. And there we can see the image has gone to the right corner of the page and the text has wrapped around it there. So the next thing we're going to look at now is how to add and embed links or hyperlinks to other websites or pages. When adding links to other websites and pages, it's important that these links are embedded into text, as this meets accessibility standards. What this means is that instead of using the full web address, which can sometimes be long and complicated, or using links like click here or read more, we use phrases which explain what the link is, such as download the Staffnet training guide or visit the BBC News website. So for this test page, I am going to include a link to this website here. Now, as you can see, the URL for this page is long and complicated, so we wouldn't just paste this in as is. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight that URL, and using my Control and C keys on my keyboard, I'm going to copy that link. I'm now going to go back to the page I want to include this link in, and in here I am going to type in the words visit the Learning with Dogs webpage. I'm now going to highlight this text, And up on the Insert tab, we have an option to add a link. So if I just click on there, what we're always going to use in this instance is the option from address. So if I click on there, we'll get a little dialog box. It's showing us in the text to display the text which we've highlighted and which will become the link. And in the address box here, I'm just going to use my Control and V keys to paste the link in to the site. So I'm just going to click on OK. And if we hover over that, you might be able to see that the text has slightly changed colour and it's now become a link, as we can see the underline there. As you can see, when you've added a link, a new tab opens up at the top here called Link. This allows you to remove the link if it's incorrect. And we also have options here where we can make the link open in a new tab or display an icon. If we click on the display icon, we will see that it puts a little image here next to the link and can be especially useful when linking to documents. If you are linking to other pages within Staffnet, we ask that you leave the Open in New tab box unchecked. Clicking this will mean that any links will then open in a new tab or window, and this will then affect those who use the back and forward keys in the browser as navigation. Now that we have edited text, inserted images and links, we're going to look at saving and checking in the changes that we've made. As in the previous version of Staffnet, there are different levels of saving, checking in and publishing your work. Whenever you go in to edit a page, it will automatically be checked out to you, and you can see it by this yellow band at the top of the page here. When you have made all the changes that you want to do, there are a couple of options. If we go up to the Page tab on the ribbon menu, you can save your work. This will save everything that you've done, however, the page will remain checked out to you. This means that only you can see this, and anyone else accessing the page will see the older version. From the edit page, you also have the option to skip the save and click check in instead. This will do both. This will save and check in your work. So once we've clicked on check in, if we click on continue, this is both saved and checked in the page, but as you can see, we still have a yellow warning message at the top saying that the page has not been published. This still means that anyone visiting your page cannot see the changes that you have made. This, however, is a good step if you need to show your page to other people who have similar access rights to yourself, who may need to see the changes that you have made before you publish it for everyone else to view. However, from the edit page, you can simply just go to the Publish tab and you can click on the Publish button here. Again, if we just click on Continue, what this will do is it will do all of those 3 steps in one. It will both save, check in and publish your work, which means this is now live for everyone in the trust to see. The biggest change of the Staffnet refresh includes how you upload documents. As this site is now being optimised for search, there is just one central document library for all documents. This is instead of the individual document libraries which were attached to each site or page. Instead, all documents are tagged with different categories and departments within this central document library to help the search filter through the correct document. Before you do upload a document, you need to make sure that the document has an appropriate and simple file name which explains its content. The document must be a Microsoft Office 2010 file format, such as a Word, Excel, or PowerPoint file, or a PDF. If there are any hyperlinks in the document, you need to check these and make sure that they are accurate. To upload a document, you will need to navigate to this document centre, and a link is provided in the Staffnet guide. There are a few main document libraries in here. Resources, which contains the majority of the documents on Staffnet. There is also a Policies and Procedures library and a Health Informatics library, and we ask that you do not access these unless you have the permissions to do so. If we click into here, what we have here is the full document library, which contains pretty much every single document currently on Staffnet. So all documents in this library are currently filtered in alphabetical order. If you are uploading a file, it's often best to check to make sure that it doesn't already exist. You can do this by scanning through the document store, however there are over 1,000 on here, so you can try and narrow down the search by using this search box up here. If you are replacing an existing file, it's a good idea to delete the one currently on there. To delete a file, all you need to do is click next to it here where you'll see a little tick box appear. This will highlight the document. And there are two ways of doing this. We can either use the three dots here to open a menu and then click on the other three dots here to open a secondary menu, and there's an option to delete there. Alternatively, with the file highlighted, if we go up to the Files tab at the top here in the ribbon menu, you will then see on the Files ribbon a number of options around this document, one of which being Delete. To add a new document to the document library, there are a few more steps involved than previously, and this is just to ensure that the documents have the correct metadata or information attached, which will help facilitate search. So to upload a document, simply click on the plus new document link here. And similar to when we were adding an image to a page, we'll get the following pop-up box here. If we click on Choose File, again, this will open up your File Explorer, and I have a document here all ready to go called Test Document. So I'm going to double click on that, and this field is populated with the name of the document. And we can leave the Add as a new version to existing files checked. And in the version comments, we don't necessarily need to add anything here at all, so just click on OK. This will enter in this dialog box where you can add in further information about your document. The content type by default is user resource, and this should be left as it is. The document department you can change to reflect your directorate or team or project that you're working on. In this instance, I want this to be a communications document, so I'm just going to start typing that in. And here it is on the options menu, so I'll just select that. Relevancy can be left blank, as can document owner. The document approver text, which is currently in red, if we just change that into N-A, we can see that there, just select that. The publish date will default to today's date, so we'll leave that as it is. Version number we can leave as is as well. And the last review and next review date we can leave as today's date. The category is how you want to define this document, and similar to the document department, there is a huge list of selections to choose from. This list is available within the Superuser's testing area for you to have a look at. I think I'm going to mark this document up as a useful document, so I'm just going to type this in here and click on Useful Docs. We can leave the featured box unchecked, and then the name and the title of the document, in this case test document, should have auto-populated in here. If not, you can just change that by typing into the field, and again I'm just going to put test document back in, and then click on Save. Now once you've done that, it may look like nothing has happened. This is because the document library has been organised alphabetically. However, if we go to the modified section here, I'm just going to click on that downward arrow, and I'm going to click on the descending option. This will then reorder the library to show by most recent first, and here we go, we can see the document that I've just added here. This now means that this document is live on the site. If you wanted a link or a URL for that document, if we just hover over the name column here, we can see that that test document is like a URL in that it has a underline. So if I right click over there, I can then on this menu go to copy link address, and I can then paste that in any document I need. Sometimes when you add a new document, you may see a little green symbol as part of the icon here. This means that the document has been checked out. As an example, I've just checked out that document, and as you can see here, there's now a little tiny green arrow, which means that the document has been checked out. And it even tells you who it's been checked out to. This might simply be because that document is being currently worked on or amended. This can also happen if you decide to simply drag and drop the document into the library. If you were to drag and drop a document into the library, you will still need to go through the process of adding the metadata or those details that we saw before. To do that, again, you need to highlight the document by just clicking onto this little checkbox that appears to the left of it when you hover. And then up here on the Files tab, there is an option to edit properties. This then opens up the form that we saw before, where you can change the document department and the category. And then you would click on Save. To then check the document in, we highlight it again, and on the Files tab, we have a little option here that says Check In. And all we need to do when this pop-up box appears is click on OK. And that document has now been checked in and is viewable by everyone. When uploading a document, if you find in the properties under document department or category, there isn't one which adequately meets your needs, then do let the communications team know and we will add some more tags for you. As the last part of this video, I'm just going to do a quick note on landing pages. In order to maintain consistency across the site, a number of teams and services have got quite consistent looking landing pages similar to this. These pages cannot be properly edited through this area, as all the web parts on this page are defined through the back end of the site. The way this page has been built in web parts is not through content editor web parts that we have seen previously, but script editor web parts which contain code appropriate to SharePoint. Therefore, if you do want to edit the look and feel of your landing page and have different web parts, please do let the communications team know and we will look into designing this for you. For the time being though, a lot of these landing pages do share similar elements. This area here is known as the carousel. And then below we have this area here, the menu, which is known as in this section, and the recent news area, which pulls through all current news articles. If you wanted to edit anything on the carousel, or in fact add new links on the in this section menu bar, you would have to do this through the site contents or the back end of the site. To get to that, if you have the correct access, you click on the cog and you would click on site contents here. This will then open this back end view of the site where again you can see the different elements we just looked at. The carousel is controlled through this list here called carousel, and the in this section where all the menu tiles were are controlled through this area here. All pages as part of your site live in this pages folder here, so if I click on that, you can see all of the individual pages which make up this site. So for example, if you did want to change the carousel, which again is this area here, In the back end of the site, you would click on the carousel list, and here we have the option. I'm going to click on those three dots and then click on Edit Item. So to run through each section, the title, how can we help? If we go back to the carousel, that is the text here. The carousel order is 1 because we only have one item on the carousel at present. For examples of carousels with more than one item, you can see one on the home page, which flicks through to different news items. The carousel caption text here, to find out more about what we can do, is this smaller text here in the grey box on the carousel. The carousel image is obviously the image that you can see, and the carousel link is the page that goes to when you click on it. The carousel date is the date which that item was put on the carousel, and the expiration date is when that item will come down. If it's going to be a permanent fixture, I suggest that you put the expiration date as far in advance as you can. However, if this is likely to change, then it's always worth to have this expiring on a date when you know that you are going to replace it with something else. To get a link to an image, in the back end of your site, there will be an images library. Your site may already have a number of images attached to it based on the content that you have there. So for example, in here, if I click on this link, this is currently the picture on the carousel. You can see that this here is the hyperlink for the image. So we can right click on that and copy the link address. And then this would simply be pasted into these two boxes here. Once you have all of the information in here, you can then click on Save. Do be aware though that when you go back to your homepage, it does take a few minutes for this information to pull through. The process is similar for updating the tiles here on your In This Section menu. So by going into the back end, we can see the In This Section here. And it has a similar list style to the carousel. So for example, if I wanted to change the image of one of these tiles, I'd simply click on the three dots next to one and click on Edit Item. And the title is what we see here in this grey box. The hero tile image is the image that we see as part of the tile. And the hero tile link is the link to the page we want it to go to. So again, in order to get the link of an image, it would be a case of using one of the images that is already available for you, or you can upload an image into here by simply dragging and dropping it from your computer. So that's it, and I hope you found this training video useful. If you do require any additional support or any additional design work on your site, please do contact the communications team via email with your requests, and we will get back to you as soon as possible to discuss how to arrange your page.